Welcome back to The Graceful Life. As always, I'm your host, Ashley Varner, and today we're going to be talking about 9 things that you can do at the beginning of each month to get a fresh start. And before we dive into that, I just want to say thank you for being here. I am just so thankful that we get to do this together. I really want you to know that this is not something I take for granted. You spending your time with me, learning how that we can serve the Lord together, serve Him better, and serve our families better too. So I just want to tell you that I am so glad that you're here. Let's dive right into today's topic. I want to share 9 things that I do at the beginning of a month that really help me stay on top of my home, to stay on top of everything that I have to do. Because whenever you're more organized, you become more productive and you're able to really live out God's calling on your life, because you can have an amazing calling on your life, but if you are not diligent about setting goals, you're not diligent about using your time wisely, that calling isn't going to be able to go as far as it possibly could. And we want to make sure that everything that we do it to the best of our ability, because we're working for the Lord. It says that in Colossians 3. So let's just dive in. Every new month equals a fresh start. So you have a chance to make a difference with the next 30 days. Sometimes we can look at a year and think that it's just too much and it gets overwhelming, and by February, say you make a New Year's resolution and by February you're already done. But I want to encourage you to look at each new month as a fresh start. Whenever you're at the beginning of the month, you can first start off by looking at the last month. Look at what you've done well. Look at what needs improvement. Sometimes we set goals and then we never look back to see how we improved, how our lives changed. Make sure that you're looking back, evaluating what you've done, and then set goals for the next month. If you look at what you've done the last 30 days, you see what was great about it. You see what needs improvement. Then that can be a starting point for you to set new goals for the next month. Another thing that I love to do at the beginning of every month for a fresh start is to pick a focus. So I started doing this year, and I really have benefited from it. And what I like to do is I look for pain points in my life. So for instance, if your pain point is the dishwasher never being started or it's never filled or something like that, or maybe you just have overloads of dishes, you might say, this is a pain point for me. I'm going to focus on my dish situation this month. That doesn't mean that you have to do something about it that day, but it does mean that all throughout that month, you're going to be looking for solutions. You're going to be actively trying to fix this pain point in your life. What's going to happen is a year from now, you're going to have 12 pain points that were in your life that are no longer an issue because you made each thing a focus each month. Whenever we're creating these focuses, that we really pay attention to what God is wanting us to do. So you might look at your life and asking Him, what should I change about my life? And really make that a focus for yourself. As you're creating all these new focus points every month, remind yourself of the old habits that you've implemented. So this might be, now that you're planning these things every month, you get 3 months in and you realize that the pain point that you have right now is the same pain point you had the first month you did this, because you weren't keeping track of these habits. So it can be really easy to start a new focus and then forget your last focus. So make sure that you keep a running list. And if you find that your focus needs to stay the same in order to kind of solidify those habits, then keep the same focus for 2 months in a row and make sure that the habits that you're creating for yourself are habits that are going to stay with you. Another thing that you can do at the beginning of the month is to get your food in order. So that might mean planning meals, organizing your pantry, knowing what you have available. If you do that at the beginning of every month, your month is going to go so much smoother. And honestly, your month is going to be cheaper because you're going to start using the food that you have in your pantry, that you have in your freezer. You're being diligent and efficient about what you're using your resources for. We've all been there where we have gone into the freezer and we can't even tell what the food is that is in the freezer. We didn't label it. We didn't know what it was for. We didn't use it up right away. Since I started doing this, probably about 2 years ago, I have way less stuff in my freezer. It doesn't last as long because I'm using it up. Instead of buying more chicken that I come home and shred, I get a rotisserie chicken and shred it up. Maybe I had a bag of shredded chicken that I didn't use at all at a meal and I put it in the freezer. I can go back to that at the beginning of the month and say, I want to use this. I want to, make these specific meals, and then plan your meals around the food that you already have in the house versus planning your meals first. So another area of this would be doing a freezer and a pantry inventory. If you go to the Graceful Life shop on Etsy, you're going to see a printable Mom Life planner that has this freezer and pantry inventory right in it that you can just fill out. You can put, if you know what day you put it in, how much of food it is, and then you can start making your grocery list and your meal planning list off of these inventories. You can also do a soft plan meal for the entire month. So what I kind of like to do is just look at all the meats that I have in my freezer and then kind of softly plan a meal for the rest of the month. So my week might be pretty solidified as far as meal plan, but for the rest of the weeks of the month, I kind of have an tentative idea of what I'm going to make. That way I'm buying less groceries, I'm using up the food that I have. And this is something that if you do at the beginning of the month, your month is going to go so much smoother. Trust me. Another thing that you can do with this kind of meal planning is to add items to purchase onto your list. If you use the Walmart pickup, like I've shared in the past, make sure to add those to your cart right away. Another thing that you can do at the beginning of each month to have a fresh start is to look over your schedule. So you guys know I'm a big proponent of digital schedules. If you look over your calendar, look at what days, if there's any birthdays, so that as you're at the store, you can grab a birthday gift. Are there any trips coming up? Does your husband have a work trip and you need to make sure that you just buy Lunchables for the kids for their school lunches so you're not dealing with lunches? Whatever it is, make sure that you see your schedule. Look at it for the entire month. Check out what's happening. Make sure that you're not caught by surprise. Next, you can do a home walkthrough. So this is something that my husband and I just started implementing recently, but if this is a way to keep your yard and your home maintained. Now, don't go Googling my yard because right now it's dirt because we're in the process of renovating the whole yard and landscaping and stuff. But as far as our house goes, we like to walk around the house, make sure that all the lights are working, make sure that there's no trim that's falling off the sides, those kind of things. Fixing things while they're still small and problems while they're still small versus letting them kind of build up, and then it feels insurmountable to maintain your home. So what I like to do, and the way that I like to view this, is kind of like you're a realtor. Like you are putting your house up for sale, and the realtor comes in, and all of a sudden, you know how that goes. If someone comes into our home, all of a sudden we start seeing all those small things that we have ignored all this time. It's kind of put your realtor glasses on and go through your home, say, I really need to update those those curtains. I really need to fix the trim here. I really need to paint this room, those kind of things. And just do a little at a time every month and keep your home nicely maintained. Another thing that you can do in your home during that walkthrough is to rotate toys for the kids. So if you have tons of toys like we do, you might want to box up half of them and let your kids play with half, and then maybe rotate them out the next month so they have brand new toys to play with. They're happy because they found their long lost whatever McDonald's toy that they got in their Happy Meal, but they couldn't part with it. Just rotating out toys helps the kids get a fresh start too. While you're in the kids' homes, or in their homes, while you're in the kids' rooms, go out and clean out all the clothes that they've outgrown. If there are clothes that as soon as they put them on, it's too tight, so they throw them off, it ends up in the hamper, you wash it again, and it's like a never-ending cycle. Go ahead and pull all those clothes out. Throw out that junk pile of mail. Pull the weeds, throw out all the trash. Those kind of things that can sometimes if you do those things at the beginning of the month, it really helps you to just start the month off right and start it off fresh. You know, I don't know about you, but I love Mondays just for that reason, because you get this feeling of a fresh start and a clean slate. The beginning of the month can feel like that too. And if we take these steps, those are things that are going to benefit us. So the last thing that I wanted to share to do at the beginning of the month is to track your health. Write down measurements. If you're someone who you're actively working on getting healthier, maybe you're wanting to run faster, track your weight, track your measurements, track your times. You ran a 5K on the first of the month, write down how fast it took. And if you do this on the first of every month, you're going to see how you're improving. You're going to see progress and results. Maybe it's how much you're lifting or even how many steps you're taking. You don't have to be like so gung-ho about health to set health goals for yourself. So if you say, I really want to have an average of 4,000 steps a day for this month, you know, you can track that. The next month, move up and just better your health a little at a time. I hope that all of these tips helped you, and I really hope that you realize that just making small changes can really impact the atmosphere of your home. And that's really what our goal is, to have a peaceful home, to have a clean home, a tidy home, and that is a ministry to our family. That's a ministry to the kids that live in our home, our spouses, even for ourselves to have a peaceful place to come home to. That's all a part of being a homemaker, of loving your family and really treating the home that the Lord has blessed you with respect and what God has given you, and being faithful with what He's given you, being a good steward. That's what all this is about, just being a good steward of our time, of our homes, of our resources, and you are going to be blessed whenever you do that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you gained something from it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will talk to you guys next time.